Not an APC
Why
member,
are you asking me
but
that
will
kind
you
of,
deliver?
Who is Tinubu other than me? Why are you asking me that kind of...
If this thing goes too much in your own favor, you will lose your job.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Greater Noble High Family. Thank you once again for taking your time to subscribe to this YouTube channel, for sharing our video, and for all you have been doing towards the growth of Greater Noble High Family. May God continue to bless you all in Jesus' name. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a popular saying that a dancer does not know how he or she dances except the spectators, except those watching you. They are the ones that will tell you, brother, sister, papa, mama, that these things you are doing will be good or is affecting them. In this case, let's see the political responses between Mr. President, the person of Bola A, Tinubu, the person of Nyesom Wike, and the reaction of Nigerian people over Nyesom Wike political strategies in Rivers State.
Highly politically motivated.
Well, I think the received wisdom is that, look, the manner of the declaration of that state of emergency, even when it is supported by Section 305, the manner of execution has been unconstitutional, illegal, unlawful, and that's the received opinion on that particular subject. And there are persons from Rivers State who are saying they didn't think that there was any justification. But so on that subject, opinion is divided. Two, opinion is also divided on the conduct of the sole administrator, who, was put in that position by President Tinubu, and he himself has even been behaving like an overlord, acting beyond the powers that may be available to him. In fact, the very fact of having a retired military officer as sole administrator, or any sole administrator at all, people are saying is unconstitutional because it amounted to the removal of democratic structures. Number three is the role of Minister Wike in this matter. This morning, we had the acting chairman of the PDP on this program, and we raised a number of questions. One, Governor Wike, Minister Wike says Governor Fubara should come and apologize to him. And you have asked the question, to come and apologize for what?
For what?
Wike has been quoted as saying, well, President Tinubu even did Fubara a favor by, declaring a state of emergency. That what he wanted was for him to have been impeached. So you find in this particular instance, one man playing the role of God, not just over Fubara, but also over the affairs of Rivers State. Number two, the same man says that the PDP is to use a common word, a useless party that cannot win elections in 2027. And we asked, we posed the question to the chairman of the PDP in Rivers, that Wike, to the best of our knowledge, not what he was saying, is still a member of the People's Democratic Party. Okay, the PDP has a constitution. There is something about anti-party activities.
Yes.
Why is it that Wike is so powerful that nobody in the PDP can call him to order, either by way of suspension or by way of expulsion? He's a member of the party, and he's saying that in 2027, it's Tinubu that he will campaign for and support, not just in Rivers State, but elsewhere. And then the PDP says we are organizing for 2027. No, they may have abdicated responsibility at the highest levels in that party. Three, Minister Wike, we just heard him now, saying that so-called elders of Rivers State who are running around the governor to collect money. Now, that's a serious allegation. We have had many elders from Rivers State involved in this politics on this program. Wike says they are so-called. In other words, he's questioning their bona fide in this matter. He's also saying they are running around collecting money. I think the elders of Rivers State, well, they have the right of reply. Let them speak up. Because what he's accusing them is that these are very corrupt elders. He didn't make any exemption amongst them.
Yeah.
And number 4, he says nobody is thinking about the future of Rivers State. But I assume that what Minister Wike means in that regard is that Rivers State cannot move forward except these so-called elders who are collecting money, running around just to collect money. I believe they know themselves, unless they come to him to come and make peace with him. Well, they have elders in other communities, but we have just heard that the ones from Rivers State are so-called, and they are looking for money. I think you are from Rivers.
No, I'm actually from Anambra State.
Okay, but you grew up in Rivers.
No, I did not. Why would you think so? I'm telling you, there must be something Rivers related. But, just to add to what she said, Vimba, I'd like you to jump in on this as well. PDP chieftain Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce was on a rise this weekend. And he said there will be a convention, I think, in August. It's been moved from October. That's a PDP convention. And Minister Nyesom Wike will be seemingly dealt with or punished during this convention in response to whether or not they don't have...
we have had that before.
They will deal with him at that. So what's your take on this? The fact that he feels there must be an apology.
Well, first of all, PDP announcing a convention, do we know if it's the legitimate one, the illegitimate one? The South come and meet, they say they are illegitimate. So we don't even know whether this is the legitimate convention that they are advertising, that they plan to hold. Apology for what is the real question here.
Audacity.
There obviously is a lot of animosity that happened between these two gentlemen. And I think it's always important for us to be able to separate issues of governance from issues of personal dispute or personal disagreement. Unfortunately, the waters have been muddied with regards to this particular case, and we're seeing it all playing out at the expense of the people of Rivers State. Now, he's already said that he had every intention. Remember, before he had separated himself from impeachment and all of that, tried to unconvincingly separate himself from the fact that these House of Assembly members are working for him, or rather working under his guidance, and are looking to execute a particular game plan, which is impeaching the governor. He had denied that. I'm glad he has now come back to accept and affirm that, in fact, that had been the plan, that was his wish and his desire before the president now stepped in. So we now ask our questions. What is really happening in Rivers State, and under whose agenda is it playing out under? All of this, for me, ties together with the fact that when you look at PDP and the PDP governors and so forth, the speculation is rife about those who are going to be crossing the floor. And so could this have been some sort of a strategy, some sort of a tactic to bring Fubara back into the fold, into the center of power, if I may call it that, so that Nyesom Wike no longer becomes the man who wields all of the cards where Rivers State is concerned? For me, is a question mark. But there's a lot of strategy at play here, a lot of different moving pieces, several assumptions as well. We won't delve into the world of assumption. However, an apology right now, the only people who deserve and are owed an apology are the people of Rivers State. That's my take on that.
All right, and of course, Adifemi, real quick, so we could just take a look at what the next story is.
Do you know what? I'm happy to jump onto the next story. Let's not beat a dead horse.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
So
in the same vein, as Christian faithfuls across the world mark the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the suspended governor of Rivers State, Fubara, has reaffirmed his commitment to good governance in the state. In his Easter message titled Renewed by the Resurrection, Advancing Peace, Unity and Good Governance, Fubara described Easter as a sacred season of reconciliation and unity. He urged the people of Rivers State to continue supporting President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda while looking forward to a better tomorrow. Now, a former chairman of the Port Harcourt branch of the Nigeria Bar Association, still sticking with the Rivers State story, Lawrence Okojaja, has now urged the National Assembly to immediately call the Rivers Administrator Ibokete Ibas to order. He argued that there are no sufficient grounds for a state of emergency in the state and warned that the sole administrator's actions are aggravating the alleged illegality, thoroughly breaching relevant sections of the law. Still going back to this Rivers issue and finally just wrapping up on that conversation. Now we're bringing in the side of the National Assembly as well to this and the sole administrators, specifically the appointment of sole administrators in those local government areas.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, this is a difficult situation because it's unprecedented in the sense that the coming and the declaration of the state of the emergency did catch a lot of people unawares. And then in the aftermath of that, you've got, as the tweets mentioned, we've now find ourselves in a state of affairs where a democratically elected leader, a governor, is now no longer the governor of the people who chose him. And now they're having to deal with a sole administrator who seems to just run a course of doing whatever he wants, which, if we take a few steps back, was allegedly the problem with Fubara in the first place. I do think there's a lot of irony everywhere you turn in this situation, but I do think that there is a lot of merit in these legal claims to the sole administrator's actions since he's been brought into the fold. And yes, I mean, it's quote unquote only 6 months, but in 6 months a lot of damage can be done. So it is very, very important that he is brought to task and is made clear to him where his powers actually lie, and that he should understand that this is a temporary position and one that we can only hope would return back to its rightful owner, which is Governor Fubara.
I mean, in another, say, 4 months left, or about 5 months left, if I'm not mistaken, of that's the suspension.
Nyesom Wike came to me and said, please take us out of this problem of TSA. I said, I know where you are coming from, your own party or my party. But if this thing goes too much in your own favor, you will lose your job. Take us out of this problem of TSA so that I can do more work and achieve more. And I said, okay, show me what you're about to do. And he presented himself. And I threw in my own political jibe. I said, will that give me any opportunity for my party to win election in I say, I know where you are coming from, your own party or my party.
Okay, you are welcome back. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Please, ladies and gentlemen, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, share our video, put on your notification bell. Cheers.